So last night I had this nightmare about waking up and rewatching a video trying to understand why nobody watches it, only to realize it's because I was panning too fast. So if somebody ever would have told me that I would get nightmares from making terrible videos, I would have laughed. This is the end of our swale. That's some fertility pits over there. And last night I published this figure 6. Very interesting people, I would say the grown-up kids of permaculture send me some videos on how to exit my swale. They said they saw my videos, they love it, blah blah blah, but here's some advice. Now, what do you do when your spillway isn't going to be long enough? That is exactly the problem that we're going to sit with here, because this is where our swale ends. That is where our spillway is supposed to be, but that is also where our house is, and then letting go of all of that water into the vegetable garden. I just want to block with my hand for the sun. But this is where our spillway is supposed to be, and I didn't want to let it go on the other side of the farm. Couldn't find a better place, so then it would all run into the vegetable garden over there. Armored the banks with straw that we take out of this old heap of sheep manure, spent bedding that was cleaned out of the kraals. Armored the bank so to stop erosion. And so once we armored that bank and we made a spillway as long as we can, we bend, I don't want to say a swale, but we bend another ditch around where Simon is now making that, taking those branches away. Those branches were placed there to protect the sheep against thieves, because we had people come and kill our sheep at night. But we don't have the sheep anymore. But anyway, so we bend the thing around. Then next to the swale, sorry, I'm going to pan fast because I want to get to my point. I understand that is what makes a terrible video, one of the things. And then dig a ditch. I'm going to move in front of the camera so I hope you can hear me again. Bend the ditch to about here. Dig a ditch next to the swale here. Take this soil, place it up on the bank, so you don't have a swale berm at the bottom, you just have a ditch running on contour with your swale. And that makes the swale stronger because there's more soil, and that gives a longer, much longer level spillway all the way as far as we can next to the swale without crossing roads and too many valleys. And then we have a long spillway where we can then, the water can then on a level plain cross the field, and then hopefully at some stage just below that, until there, we'll build another swale. But we have then a big sheet of water running across the landscape, making it much less concentrated than say a 5 or 10 meter spillway. I'll show you the other things that Peter Andrews said we should do here in Namibia. Sorry, I was eating some of that umapcha tree gum stuck in my throat. I wanted to talk to you about these trees. So if you've been watching my channel, you know that the donkeys came in here. Well, we placed the donkeys in here, and they stripped many of these trees from their bark. Now, I was very excited to see that they are growing green leaves, thinking that that is a sign of survival. And many comments explained to me that that is a very last attempt of them trying to stay alive. And I did some reading, and I'm convinced that you guys are right. These trees will most certainly die. Now, the thing about most of these acacias is if you cut them, especially the invasive ones, if you cut them, coppers them, they sprout new green shoots. So that is an option. It's either that or leaving them to die. Very interesting thing about a tree that's been girdled, which is a new word I learned. Girdling is when you remove the bark around the tree. is that they die from the roots first. The roots start dying and then only later the tree on top dies. So it can take up to 3 years, but they do die. So yeah, so all of these girdle trees, whether I should cut them off and nurture them and see if I cannot get some trees back in the future, use the tops as mulch, and or whether I should leave some and see how they act, leave some standing, use it as an experiment to see how long they take to die, see whether they recover at all, maybe we discover something new. And let's get back to Peter Andrews, but leave your comments on whether you think I should cut those trees down. We'll do an experiment, leave some of them, see how they act. Peter Andrews, when he drove through Namibia with one of our big permaculture guys called Ibo, he found that the farmers would cut these invasive trees down, place them on big heaps, and then burn them. Now the local people, local tribes, they put this as kraals, like we did here, to stop sheep and things like that from entering. But then people like Uwe Karl from Middelplats in Namibia, a guy that I met a couple of years ago, realized that if you place these bushes on contour, and I don't know if he realized it, but he's doing it, if you place these bushes on contour, they keep a lot of soil and things, erosion and things under control. Just the way I did right over here. A couple of days ago, I placed these ones below because I saw that the washings washed up against the bushes. And then what Uwe Karl also did is he ended up planting in between the bushes, and then grew perennials through them. Let's see if I cannot get in front of the camera. So basically what he would do is plant and then cover them on contour, making a berm that catches the water as it flows in, and then as the perennials grew, it gives them a chance to become big, keep the game and the animals, all the herbivores, away from them for a little bit until they are this high. Then you would either add more branches or let them grow until they're strong enough to grow for themselves. What then happens is you have a living berm, fence, you can almost say, that is on contour, and that then keeps erosion from happening. It harvests water, it slows the rain down. Now what I wanted to do for a long time is to plant Lucina on contour like that, and then cut them in a hedge, and then throw the sticks of the hedge against the other side, on the uphill side, you can almost say, so that when the water comes, it hits the wood of the Lucina and then slows the water down, and then your Lucina and your sticks and your things forms a hedge. Now this gives you a head start, because this gives you, sorry, my eyes are always watering. This gives you a head start because it keeps the herbivores away, it already slows down the water, and this I think is a fantastic tool, something that we have plenty of in Namibia, is this invasive trees. And the other thing that I also thought that should be added to the plan of Uwe Karl and Peter Andrews is to place these things on contour every 50 or 100 meters or maybe less, and then you use them as camps for the animals. So because the animals can't cross these, it's already a temporary fence, that will last 2 or 3 years. But you place these, you chase your animals in there, have them mob graze, get them out into the next one, have them mob graze, get them out into the next one, have them mob graze. So you use this as a fence, you use it as a nurturing structure for the living things, and then you use it as a way to slow down, almost as a berm, to slow down the water and then to seep it out over the landscape. Now, just for interest's sake, I got my eyes tested a couple of days ago, and it seems like I'm going to be able to get rid of this teary-eyed thing with some drops and some glasses that the people subscribe to me. I'm getting old, so I'm going to have to start wearing glasses. but that will stop my tearing as well. People always ask me why I'm crying. Oh, it looks like I've been drinking the night before. I don't drink at all, but it always looks like I do. Anyway, that is the end of my story for today. I wanted to give you an update on that project tonight, but I'm sure we're going to have a lot of wind tonight. We don't have any rain planned for the next 10 days, which makes me a bit worried. Which rain should have come already about at least 8 days ago. I'm a bit worried about the rain for this year. But that is the end of my story. I will see you tomorrow, and then I'm going to give you an update on that spillway on top there.